welcome to the threesome, y'all. This is the podcast where the three of us try to discuss at least three topics each week. If you are back for more of this ridiculousness,
Glutton for punishment.
you are glutton for punishment, but we thank you for putting up with us again. If this is your first time finding us, glad to have you.
Welcome.
And as always, we apologize in advance.
I'm questioning y'all self-esteem. I'm fucking delightful.
Excuse me.
That's her word.
Y'all know
Her phrase.
I'm fucking delightful. Okay.
Not the point. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Fuck.
Okay. So, our point person and our optimistic realist is known as Star.
I wanna let you know I'm not just for show.
Okay. I haven't watched School Days in I don't know how long.
That was a terrible rendition of it too. Anyway.
But I still
the real
recognize
thing was a terrible rendition.
Well, I mean, School Days being a musical was hilarious to me. Anyway.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah. I did too, because it came out like right when I was going to college. So,
I liked it more back then.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. It's some parts are harder to watch as you get older, but
and expectations versus reality was weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Felt the same way
like High
about
School.
Porky's and them type of movies. High school didn't go anything like that.
Well, see, with me, it was Fame in high school. Like, I expected high school to be like Fame, and it wasn't shit like Fame.
you go
Kind of got to go to a performing arts school.
No, no, I didn't. We didn't even have one.
I know
But-
the high school you went to. There's a lot of performing, but whew.
Right, but we weren't dancing on tables in the lunchroom and shit. It was no fun. Anyway. Our man in the middle and our voice of reason, we call him Magic.
Daddy long stroke.
Hey, the papa.
And bringing up the rear, as always, I will not be singing any songs from School Days.
Ooh.
I identify as the pragmatic contrarian, and they call me Storm. But I will say, wake up! Arbitrary,
Brother
right?
Almighty.
Like, that shit was so arbitrary at the end. I was just like, okay.
It's a Spike Lee joint.
Right. I got it.
Well, I mean, I got it, but it was just so weird. Like, it was just like, anyway.
Like after you just watched all this foolishness, wake
Right.
up.
Shout
Right.
out to black on black racism.
Right. Why I gotta be all that, Dad? Anyway.
But
So,
you should have hair like this, so the boys will
Right.
give you a kiss.
right. And what was weird about that? I don't know.
It's
What
my
was
favorite
weird-
sequence in the whole movie, though.
What was weird about that was the whole this thing about fake hair being somehow about being dark skin versus light skin. I was like, that was just a weird amalgamation of different topics to me.
Because
You
we
know,
all know
it-
how yellow chicks' mamas don't know how to do their hair.
I don't know about that, but I will say this.
You've seen it.
I will say this, that I mean, at the time when that came out, like I had a fierce set of braids. And nobody's about to mistake me for light skin, so I mean, but anyway. Fun times.
You got me to
You
really
know,
thinking because, like, yeah,
fun,
whatever.
yeah, fun times in the '80s. When we only had ourselves to argue with. Um, you know
Power to the
how
people.
you know how white people like to reminisce about the simpler times of the '50s. Wish they could go back there. Ah, the '80s,
What white
the
people
simpler
you talking
times.
to is
Yeah.
reminiscing about the 50s and how they can go back
Oh
there?
my God, they're always on television talking about they wish they
Oh,
could go back to simpler fucking times. And
oh.
they're always talking about the fucking '50s or the fucking '20s.
Yeah, the
You know,
20s
oh,
wasn't
I wish
simple.
how
Not
the
from
fuck
the
Wasn't
would I
that
history.
know?
before the Depression?
Yeah, I think
Not
it
from the
was.
damn history books. The 20s wasn't all that simple.
Well, I mean, it was never simple for us. So,
Yeah, but hell, it didn't seem like it was too simple for them either, gangland.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. But my point is, like, I feel that way about the '80s. Like, that was back when,
oh, yeah.
being a racist was a bad thing.
Come on,
Yeah,
Archie Bunker and George Jefferson was prospering.
that was that was not in the '80s. That was in the '70s.
It spilled over into the 80s.
We had evolved by but anyway, in the '80s, greed was good, which I guess is
Mm.
problematic in its own
Thanks for the
sense.
Coke, Ronald. Motherfucking.
Woo,
Anyway.
that takes me to that Phil Collins video with him. Oh, I hated that video. What is that? Land of
uh,
Confusion?
I think
yeah.
so.
Speaking of Phil Collins, wow,
He's
people are just
retiring.
people just aging around these parts, and
I mean, Phil
wow,
been out for a minute.
I know, but like he can't even I think they said at his last concert he couldn't stand up or he couldn't play the drums. He just sat there
Oh,
and sang, and I'm like, damn,
that hurts my feelings.
mine too.
Love me some Phil.
Meanwhile, Stevie's still out here cooking. Black Power.
Yeah.
Well,
He a little slower at it, but he's still getting it.
right, yep, man. Anyway, we got topics this week.
Right.
um, let's go from. mm, Well, let's do yours first, Star.
Always starting with me. Anyway,
I always starting with you.
Set it off
um,
in his mother.
so I wanted to have a conversation about these delivery services. And I'm lumping them all in one basket because I've either experienced pretty much all of them in my area. We're like Shipt, Instacart, Walmart delivery, Walgreens delivery, Uber Eats, and what's the other one? DoorDash and Grubhub. Like over the past maybe 4 years, I've ordered from all of those places and probably one or two more that I can't even think of at least twice. And in some cases, quite a bit more. So here's a discussion I want to have, right? These places charge anywhere between 25 and 30% more than what you would spend in the stores, with the exception of Walmart. Okay. But the rest of them charge 20 to 30% more than what you would pay in the store. And what you end up getting a lot of times is crap. Like it's like they just don't give two shits. Like, but and it goes from like the restaurants. If it's not the restaurants, it's the people like actually dropping them off. And if it's not, the stores that's packing the stuff, it's the people actually dropping it off. Like I had a whole $200 order delivered to my house from Walmart. What is it, about 3 or 4 weeks ago now? And the one item that I ordered that wasn't for me, that was for my mom, which was a pound of bologna, was the only thing that got dropped off on my front porch. Where's the rest of it?
I would be ready to fight.
Oh, listen, my daughter, because like there was some stuff in there for the baby and she was waiting on it, like some formula and some food and stuff because the baby had ran out. So I was like, oh, they sent the notification, it should be pulling up or whatever, real soon. Now, see, this is what ticks me off about her. When you tell her like something's at the door, she'll like won't immediately like go get it. And so drivers will like just leave stuff. Like, okay, if you don't want to come out the door and get it, they'll just leave it. Had she took her behind out there to go get it, when I told her they were delivering it, she could have caught the driver and been like, hey, where's the rest of the stuff? Because more than likely what happened was that she had 2 or 3 orders in the car. But it still doesn't make sense to me how you drop off one bag with 1 pound of bologna. Like, that didn't even come across to you as odd.
Right. The delivery fee is more than the item.
Exactly.
Like, who does that?
Who does that? I'm gonna pay $12 to have a pack of bologna delivered. Like, that doesn't make sense. So anyway, let's go to these food delivery places. I've had stuff dropped off down the street. And that's a whole nother thing. When you call customer service, DoorDash is pretty okay. But a lot of these other places, they're just ridiculous. Like, well, have you checked your neighbors? I'm not going to my neighbors for some food. Man, I'm just fed up with them.
What are the credentials for hiring the people to do these jobs?
I don't even know. Probably not much of anything, but my whole thing about the issues that start at like either the warehouses or the restaurants, this is what you do. And if you wouldn't hand this shit off into, to somebody that's like in your store or coming through your drive-through, because they probably gonna cuss you out and possibly throw that shit back through the window at you, don't send it out to the customers ordering delivery. Why would you do that?
Well, I haven't had a lot of bad delivery experiences when it comes to restaurants. I think part of that is because I don't order a lot of restaurant delivery. Um, Partly because I don't trust people in that way. You know what I
No, but
mean?
I only order, well, when I did a lot. Um Going through my little depression and refuse to cook and whatever. But
Well, I mean, I get it, but I mean, there are two things I am in life. And yes, I will say that I am lazy about things like that, but I am also cheap, so I am not about to pay you that delivery fee when I could just go pick it up. I'm just not going to do that. But so the only problems I've ever had with food delivery, with restaurant delivery, is maybe like they forgot, like they didn't bring my drink,
yeah,
which
that's a
seems
good
to be
one.
the thing. Seems to be the thing. They didn't bring my drink, or I specifically told them, no mayo, and they got mayo all over it, which I'm like, well, good thing I'm not allergic to it. You know what I mean? So it's not that big of a deal.
Well,
The
and my thing
problem
is
I
that the
have,
price that you pay, for the price that you pay, it's just like,
oh, I agree. The problem I have is when I've tried grocery delivery,
mm,
because for two reasons. Um, One, I don't understand how your website in the year 2022, okay, is not tied in to your inventory system.
yep,
So if I'm on your website and I order something and you tell me that you have it in stock, then how come once I place my order, you're like, oh, that's not in stock? We ain't got none of that. We ain't got none of that. We ain't got none of that. And sometimes I think it's the people who are shopping for grocery, doing the shopping for you, that they just don't, put any effort into it. Cause I know for a fact, like I've ordered from Meyer around the corner, and I won't get something in my order and they'll be like, yeah, we were out. And then like I go there the same day and they have it. And I'm like, okay, you just really didn't look, you
Their
know.
shoppers were lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's some of that. Also, I would never order produce from any of
Oh
them
yeah,
because I'm very picky about my produce and they will bring you
crap.
stuff that's bruised, that's like looks like it's on its last like they just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
give a fuck, and that shit pisses me off because I'm like, if I'm paying for it, I want good quality shit. So
yeah.
yeah, so because the grocery delivery is not up to par, I've always said that's probably the single thing that's keeping me from going full hermit in this world. So kudos to them for being incompetent.
You're saving a life.
As a
Well, I
person
don't know
that's
about all
done
that.
inventories for a living and stocked groceries for a living, no, they don't really keep track of inventory that well.
Well, I agree, but they should. And
Yeah,
I mean,
everything can be scanned at this point.
and that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying, And then you program in like a certain amount, for loss prevention or whatever.
Hmm.
But I mean, there should be no way that your website is telling me that you have something and then you don't have it. Like,
Or there should be no way, like in Walmart's thing. I've kind of figured out what's going on with them. So, in one instance, you'll have a particular location that'll be out of something for months, such as Nilla wafers. Okay? How the hell are you out of regular size Nilla wafers for 6 months? How is that possible? And at this point, sometimes I don't even want it for real. I'm just looking, I just take a look just to see if they fixed it. And I'm pretty sure there's other items like that, but this is
oh
what
yeah,
Walmart's
Nestle
system does.
Nestle Pure Life water is like I don't know, crack in my area because I mean when I find it, I grab up like 3 or 4 cases of it because it's sold out like everywhere, and I'm like, what is going on? It's just water, but
And this is what Walmart will do, and I don't understand why their system is set up this way. Say if you're trying to order some green tea, and you normally order, you put green tea on your order and it's $3.12. Okay. Um, let's say there's a price increase. So instead of them going in and changing the price, what they'll do is make it unavailable for a while. And then a new listing will pop up for it at the new price. But then when you scroll down toward the bottom as you're, going to submit and maybe go look for something else, you'll see that still that same sold out or not available ad for the green tea that was at $3 and whatever, however many cents. It's like, why do you do that?
yeah, I don't study it that deeply.
I
I
don't study
mean,
it deeply. I just notice.
yeah, I don't. I just want them to give me the shit that they say they have in stock. Now, one thing I will say about Walmart, they will upgrade your shit.
Oh, now that they will.
and they will give it to you at the price that you said you were going to pay for it.
Yep, they
And so
will.
I did.
They
Yeah,
do that.
yeah, they will do that. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But other than that, just don't tell me that you're out of stuff when you first told me that you were. Like, don't. That's so annoying because now I'm expecting to get something,
And it's not
and
coming.
sometimes if I was going to place an order in more than one place, you know what I mean,
Yep.
and I'm thinking I already got it over here, I don't even look for it over there. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, they need to do better, especially
They
now
do.
when they're increasing the
When the
delivery fee.
prices are going through the freaking roof.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just talking about the delivery fees. I'm not even talking about the actual prices, which yes, have gotten larger, but have gotten bigger. But the delivery fees, and then they want you to tip these people. I'm like, well, what the hell is the delivery fee for?
I don't I well, that's for the company. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
But
And
I'll say this. I don't have a problem with tipping, but sometimes the amount that they suggest tipping, it's like, are you serious?
right.
Um, yeah.
And that's my thing. Like sometimes they run these specials where you can get the delivery for free, or for $1 or whatever, $1.99. And when I get those, then the driver gets a bigger tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're charging me, hell, 12, 13, $15, nah, I ain't got nothing for you. Like,
And it's messed up because they do give the drivers part of that tip, but it's not like a large amount. I mean, and it's just it's simple greed. I mean, welcome to
no,
America.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is America.
it
Um,
is.
because with the exception of Walmart, they don't seem to do it much. They don't seem to increase their prices more, you know, online than what you would find in the store. But when you shop at like a place like Kroger or any place like that, you're gonna pay anywhere between 10 to 20% more than what you would in the store. Plus, I think they recently started, but they weren't doing it before. You couldn't get things that were on sale. Like if they were on sale in the ad in the store, they wouldn't show up as on sale on the website. Um, and so you're getting money on both ends. You're getting money from the delivery fee and the markup that you're putting on the individual items. It's just greed. Capitalism at its worst.
Yeah, and then they took away my ability to go grocery shopping at 2 o'clock in the morning, which I do not appreciate, because I went at 2 o'clock in the morning because I don't like dealing with y'all. So now y'all are forcing me to go grocery shopping when people are there
Mm-hmm.
because y'all can't deliver my shit right. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Rant is
that's all.
done.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll get that worked out. And I feel bad sometimes for some of the workers because I mean I know they're stressed out because don't nobody want them jobs no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody
and
want
they
any job anymore. Everybody thinks they should stay home and be taken care of, but
And collect the check.
whole different
I don't
subject.
know that that's true. I
Shit.
just don't think that people
I
want
seen them.
shitty jobs. I just don't think people want shitty jobs
Shitty
anymore.
jobs beats
Um,
broke.
well, hell, having a
But the
shitty
shitty
job
jobs will
don't make
still
you
leave you
not
broke.
broke, right?
Sell weed on
now
the
you
side,
now you
like hustle shit.
now you just broke with a shitty job. I mean, like that y'all saw that dude in I don't know, was he in Michigan or Illinois? The dude from Applebee's that ended up having to step down because he sent out that memo talking about,
Oh, yeah, I heard about it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I have
Like,
to look
who
that up.
wants to work? Who wants to work for
He was
somebody like that?
basically like the economy's so fucked up, people are gonna be running back looking for jobs. So we got
So
them.
now is our chance to hire people in at low ass wages. Basically, is what he's saying. Like now's our chance to exploit our workers.
That's so
Basically.
sad.
Who the fuck wants to work for somebody like that?
That's sad.
You know what I'm saying?
Who
And
the
then you
fuck is
wonder
dumb
why
enough
don't
to
nobody
put it
want to
in
work for
writing
you.
and send it out throughout the internet?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm just saying. He said that, he put the quiet part in writing, but most of them act that way anyway. You feel it when you work for people like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't blame people for not wanting to be exploited. I just really don't. Because if I'm going to be
I don't
broke,
blame
let me
people
just be
for
broke
that,
and
but
happy.
do something.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but why would I do something and still be broke? You know what I mean? Something that I don't want to do and still be broke. Somebody who's
If
treating me
everybody
like,
got to do what they wanted to do for a living, there would be no janitors.
I don't know that that's true. Some people like to clean for a living, or some people like to clean. I know people who clean, who love to clean, like that's their thing. And
Enough
and
of them to
believe
carry
me,
all the jobs.
if cleaning, if you paid people more money to clean, probably the people who love cleaning would do that.
Yeah.
But but why would they do that when they, as you pointed out, they're gonna be broke. So
Yeah.
Steal from the people you
when they,
cleaning up for.
so
Apply
when they go,
yourselves, people.
Uh-uh.
well, and
Uh-uh.
then there's that. You know,
Listen, I've been hungry before. I don't understand not hustling. Granted, it
Yeah.
might not be the job you want. Granted, you might have to do some shit you don't particularly care for, but do it till you can put yourself
well,
in a position to do something you do want to do.
here's the reality of the economy that we live in. You can hustle without working for people now.
Yeah,
There are
easily.
there are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways to make money legally
Yeah.
without having to work for somebody who's going to try to exploit you. So,
Yep.
I'm
and
living
But
that,
you
proof.
still got
and
to get off your ass and do it.
I'm
well,
living
and
proof.
a lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. So that's why they don't want these crappy ass jobs, because they have options.
Mom and dad don't
But
count.
anyway, what?
I said that mom and dad don't count.
Two.
No. Do you know how many people I know personally? Like, I have a friend who makes. She has a YouTube channel. She has a real job. She has a master's degree, and she has a real job. Do you know she makes more money off her YouTube channel every month than she
I
Yeah.
does
believe it.
Yeah.
off of her real job? So, and she has said if she didn't love what she did, she would quit her job and go full time and do that. She would make a whole lot more money. So, that's all I'm saying is if you're a crappy employer, why would anybody work for you when they can just not and still make money?
Yeah.
So,
And
but
still
anyway,
make money.
and still make money and still pay their bills, and in some cases, you know, better than they would if they were working your crappy job that you're offering them.
All right.
So, just saying. People say that that's a like a millennial and Gen Z thing mindset, but nah.
Nah,
I
not a
mean,
lot of
I'm Gen
lazy
X.
motherfuckers my age.
I'm Gen X, and I fully understand. I am completely behind that.
Mhm.
So, anyway, there's that. Um. So I guess we need to go to a more serious topic, an after school special topic.
Shout out to all the countries where you have to worry about getting blown up and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That are probably
uh,
not listening to this because you don't have internet access, but we're here for you
or you
over the
do.
internet.
Yeah. I mean, or maybe they do. Who knows? Satellites and shit. Um, so, how to fight the onset of depression?
Anybody? Anybody?
Magic.
Oh, well, as a person who has pretty much dealt with that kind of thing my whole life, I can feel it a lot of times coming
Yes.
on.
Hmm.
Um, and music is a big part of, my therapy. Long drives, sitting out by the water, kind of just trying to process my thoughts and, bring myself some peace, trying to figure out, where it's coming from.
Man.
Sometimes that helps. Sometimes,
Usually.
yeah, sometimes.
Um, but
That's why I say sometimes.
but myself, like when I feel it coming on, I have to remove myself
Yeah, yeah,
from things that feed into that and people that feed into that.
yeah.
And like, like some of my friends, just negativity, negativity, negativity. I have to remove myself from that situation. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that right now. Now that's not always possible. It's not always possible to remove yourself from all of that. But yeah, I try to surround myself with things that bring me joy. Um, it's basketball season. That helps. Football season helps. It's harder for me in the summertime when I don't have those things,
No
to.
WNBA?
I'm sorry.
No WNBA?
Well, yeah, but that season is so short. Um, but I mean, it just, I don't know. For me, it's avoiding the things that I know are going to bring me further down into it. And
Mhm.
also, and I say this and I don't mean to be glib. I really don't, because I understand that it is a hard thing to deal with. And, sometimes, you need extra stuff to get out of it. But for me, because they tried to throw so many medications at me, and I didn't really do well with any of them. For me, it was a matter of sometimes I just have to make a choice. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, am I going to be depressed or am I going to choose not to be? Like, just
Mhm.
that simple for me. Now, and I'm not suggesting that it's that simple for everyone, but sometimes that's what I have to do. I have to realize, what's going on with me and just make a choice that I'm just not going any further down that rabbit hole.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Magic.
For me, it's difficult because during my 20s and probably into my 30s and teen years, I was self medicating with alcohol, sex, and music. And I'm 46. I don't really put too much effort into any of those things anymore. Sorry, hoes. If you ain't catch me by now, you missed the good part. So I'm trying to find different ways to handle things. Right now, I look at my children and I just laugh because, oh shit, I made people who fuck would have thought that would have happened. I work. I don't know if I do it as a distraction, but whether it's my actual job or cleaning up or clean the car or something, I make sure I get up and get moving, jogging,
Mhm.
play basketball. Um, I do live on a peninsula, so at any given time, I could just sit on the river at the beach and watch the water go, watch the birds fly, fish swim, crabs crawl, all that good stuff. And probably the biggest thing is at this point in life, I count my blessings. Like, I don't forget how hard life was before and what I came from. And there were
Right.
times where I wished all I had was these problems. Like,
Mhm.
if myself from 20 years ago was looking at me now, I'd be like, punk motherfucker, this what you whining about? Yeah, get over it. So I'm
Well,
my own
yeah.
therapist.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, a lot. Well, first of all,
And none of
my
y'all mentioned
therapist is awesome.
Jesus. Anyway,
Well, not I. But I mean, my therapist is awesome. Shout out to her. But I had to go through a lot of bullshit therapists to find her. So
Mhm.
if y'all out there talking about, well, I went to therapy and it didn't work, you may have to try a few different therapists before you find the right one. But again, a lot of it is, um, like you said, I I'm getting down, but then I tell myself, but look what else is good. Like
yeah,
look what's
force
good.
yourself to think the opposite.
Exactly. And pretty soon, and also, I have a dog and I'm a dog person. So clearly dogs cheer me up. So that helps me as well. I don't know. I watch YouTube videos of of well, y'all are gonna think I'm weird. Well, y'all think I'm weird already. Aside from my pimple popping videos, I also watch the ear. I also watch like earwax removal videos and
Oh,
ingrown hair removal video. Like that shit is relaxing.
jeez.
You know what I mean? Like that shit is relaxing to me.
Mm.
Okay. True crime.
I
Like,
watch porn.
listen. What?
Said I watch porn.
Oh, yeah. I watch true crime and listen to true crime podcasts, and I get into those stories, and it's hard for you to feel sorry for yourself when someone is talking about how their child has been murdered. You know what I mean? Or or their parent, or you know what I mean? It's hard for you to feel sorry for about your circumstances in life when you listen to these people. So, um yeah, count your blessings.
Over
I
and over and over.
I
Yeah.
watch people, like if I can't get out, I watch people either create, like people creating art. That helps me sometimes, and it's like it's soothing. It takes my mind somewhere else. Um, yeah, I watch videos of that, or I'll just find a good documentary to watch. That helps sometimes too.
Yeah.
Just something to take me out of the frame of mind that I'm currently in, and if I can stay out of it long
And
enough.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's it. You got to realize that the depression, the feeling, is a mental thing. You know, it's in your mind, and you can control your mind.
yeah,
Now, I mean, and I'm not just saying again. I don't want to be glib, like, oh well, that I figured out depression, and because I do know that sometimes it's chemical, and you need to adjust that before you're even open to looking at the possibilities in your life or whatever. But but yeah,
I
and
also, somewhere when I was younger, I seen that the yin and yang symbol is actually showing that everything is balanced. So no matter how much dark there is, or how much light there is, or how high things are, or how low things are, it's temporary. Like at your very lowest, things have to get better. At your very highest, things are only going to go downhill. You have to find a way to balance yourself somewhere in between the two so you don't get too highs with the highs and too lows with the lows. Like the next phase is coming, and you have to go through it. You can't get stuck on it. You can't succumb to it. You have to go through it and get to the next phase.
You know what?
Absolutely.
That's interesting that you said that. I was having a conversation with a friend earlier today about, well, I think it might have been earlier today or yesterday, whatever, about how right before COVID, I found myself getting into this funk about what I do, which I thought never would never happen. Um, I had spent years trying, or years, I won't say trying, but building my business. But in the process of that, I had one thing after the other, and I'm not saying that my life was any worse than anybody else's or whatever, but for me, for like 6, 7 years of building my business, well, 6 years of building my business, life was really hard. It was just really heavy. One thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And all of that, like, several major deaths, my own illness, just crazy stuff was just back to back to back to back to back. And it was like once those things were no longer, let's just say, uh, a heavy presence in my life, um, I started coming down. It was like I was on autopilot for so long. Not saying that I was handling anything well, but it was almost like there was too much stuff going on for like to get depressed, like severe depression to kick in. And once everything started calming down and subsiding and some time had passed, I started coming down from all of that. And it was like the heaviness of it all just kind of crashed in on me. And right before COVID, what I thought it was is that I was getting burned out from what I do. But really, what it was is that there was no balance in my life. And like I wasn't doing anything for me, for my happiness, for my mental health or self-care. I wasn't doing anything for myself. And that's where that major crash like came from. Like COVID was hard, but it was one of those things that it was like a kind of like an opportunity for me to kind of examine what was going on with me and my life and to take
That.
that time out that I needed because
Mhm.
I was just grinding, 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 just making things happen. And it's like I don't have a choice, blah, blah, blah. COVID was brought everything to a screeching halt. And it's so funny because I was like, right before that, I was like, oh, I'm slowing this down. And in 2020, I'm like, I'm slowing this down. I can't keep going at this pace and this, that, and the other. And COVID was like, oh yeah, you want to slow it down? Hold my beer. Um, so, it was like once everything came to a screeching halt and I wasn't dealing with customers, contracts, this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, oh, wow. And it really made me realize it wasn't that you didn't no longer love what you do, which I didn't really think that was the problem. And I wasn't becoming burned out. What it was is I was becoming burned out from not having balance in my life. Um, and I was like, yeah, I gotta start being selfish around this mug a little bit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
That's an important thing.
and I
Yeah.
still
I
don't do it
mean,
often enough for sure.
Yeah,
But
but if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of nobody else. So if you fall apart, a lot of the links you
right.
built are falling apart with you.
and that's exactly
Exactly.
like what was happening. And what really made
Hmm.
me realize it is that, and I've said this before, even in this podcast, like music is such a major part of my life. And uh it became a point where like the music wasn't helping. And I wasn't even thinking to, you know, use the music as my therapy anymore. It was just like I didn't want to hear or listen to anything. Like I'm not a big TV watcher by anyway, but Like I didn't want to read, I didn't want music, I didn't want any of it. And it was just like, wait a minute, what's wrong with you? Like you tripping. So anyway, I said all that to say balance is important. So I agree with you.
Balance is important. It's also good to know who you are. Um, I know I say a lot that people need to own their shit. One of the things that I have to own is that I am a control freak. I mean, that's just what that
No,
is. Right. So when things start spinning out of control for me,
I'm shocked.
I get that's when I tend to start getting depressed. And so one of the things that I need to do is take control of something. Like I'll give myself a goal and work toward it. I'll give myself a goal and a deadline and work toward it. And and then also because I tend to be a little obsessive, um, then
What?
I focus on right. Then I'll start focusing on that and not focusing on the depression. You know what I mean?
You know what? I would do that. I would do that as well. But let me tell you, let me tell you how one of my friends called me out on my control freak issues. Like I don't know that I'm in the same realm as you as about it, but I do have my little things that I'm kind of controlling over. Like I'm a planner by nature, and if I can have, or and I'm also a researcher. Also, I'll say I'm a researcher by nature, and so if I can have as much information about a possible situation for me,
Yep.
that helps, right? So I'm looking to move into this apartment building within the next couple of months, and whenever I go to move somewhere, um, I like to kind of scope out the neighborhood at different points. Like I'll go at night on the weekend and see if it's, any craziness happen, like if it's like loud when people generally party. I'll go, maybe in the summertime, just to see how the atmosphere is a couple of times, just to see, folks hanging out, what it looks like. And I'll go during the day, because a lot of times a parking lot of a place will tell you, it tells you a lot about a place. Like if you're going somewhere between 9 to 5, not that people don't work at night, but I'm just saying, and now it's not even valid because of COVID, but it was before COVID. Um, if you go to an apartment complex that has, I don't know, 300 apartments or whatever, and the parking lot is like super full at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's like, okay, so is this a place that low income, like a lot of either low income people that don't work or retirees or whatever, like what kind of place is this? Because most people, well, I ain't gonna say most, but a lot of people work 9 to 5. Um, so you would figure the parking lot wouldn't be full. Now, that's my own little whatevers, okay? But so my friend goes, I was over there the other day and I had said to him, I said something about whatever I saw out there. And he was like, what are you doing over there? Are you talking to the person in the rental office or whatever? And I was like, no, I said, I was in the neighborhood and I just decided to drop by, just to check it out and see what was going on. He was like, are you serious? He just started going into this whole little thing. And I was like, listen, it eases my mind to be able to have some concept, idea, whatever, about the community in which I'm moving into. He's like, read the reviews online. I'm like, yeah, that stuff only tells you so much. You know what I mean? I need to
True.
see with my own eyes. But he just thought that was ridiculous that, I was going by, a couple of times or whatever, like kind of checking the place out. And I think it's necessary. So
You
yeah.
should.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
mean,
so. Try to make me feel bad.
yeah. I mean, before I moved into this place, I mean, I kind of knew which neighborhood I wanted to, live, I wanted to buy into. And Matter of fact, I was only looking for houses in this area, in this neighborhood. Like I wasn't looking anywhere else because I knew where I wanted to live. So I get it. You need to know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
But
How
yeah,
dare she?
anybody who's anybody who's going through depression or they feel depression coming on, I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, there's a commercial going on right now that says if you can't find the words, find the lyrics. And even though that commercial aggravates me at the beginning because it shows
I've
this.
not seen that commercial.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look it up. It aggravates me at the beginning because it shows this like teenage girl sitting at the table and she's got like headphones around her neck and her parents ask her how was her day or something like that they said to her, and she kind of just rolls her eyes and doesn't say anything, and kind of goes into this little funky attitude like type thing. And they kind of just look at each other like, see, like, or whatever. And they're African American parents. And not being funny, but that's so not typical of African American parents. They're like, what the hell wrong with you? Like, why would you roll your eyes at me? Because you know what I mean?
Mm, right.
Like, yeah.
Not to mention, I asked you a motherfucking question and I
Question.
get a
Don't
bill
sit there and
here.
roll
Like,
your damn eyes at me. The fuck?
you
How
know,
disrespectful.
right. If you don't want to talk about it, at least say that. But what you not finna do is just roll your eyes at me and not say nothing. Oh no.
Like the look on her face was like, you just get on my damn nerves. And I was like, that part
Yeah.
of the
Well,
commercial irritates me. But the message, I'm good with the message. It's like if you are a music lover, music
yeah.
can be a way to kind of take you out of your current situation. Get in the
And
car, put on
express
some
yourself.
headphones, do
Yeah.
something, you know, just to kind of take you out of that frame of mind, even if it's just temporary. Sometimes that helps. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, can't find the words,
Absolutely.
find the lyrics.
Matter of fact, I have a playlist just for when I'm sad of songs that I know are going to make me feel better. You know,
Optimistic.
uh, not even necessarily optimistic songs, but just, you know, songs that are going to make me feel better. Like, seriously, how are you listening to Katrina and the Waves sing Walking on Sunshine and it doesn't cheer you up? Like, how? How? I, I'm just saying. Um, but yeah, I mean they're just songs that I can listen to and I know they're guaranteed to at least lift my mood, at least slightly. You know what I mean? At least slightly.
Save that as a topic for one of these weeks.
Oh, songs that make you feel better or
Yeah,
songs for different occasions.
that'll take too long.
Okay,
Okay.
so newsflash, really quick, because I just saw something that just stopped me in my freaking tracks. I'm so excited. William Defoe is playing Nosferatu.
Hmm.
I'm so excited. Okay.
I mean, is this a remake of Nosferatu? Cause
Uh,
Gotta be.
it's
or is
all a
this like
remake
a
at this
like a
point.
yeah, I was gonna say, or is it a new like iteration of it? Because I don't
I
know.
don't care. I just can't wait to see him.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. I like a good vampire flick like the next person,
And I
but
love William Defoe.
okay.
Willem, I'm sorry, Defoe. Anyway, that was just my piece of joy for the evening. It don't take much. It does not take
Noted.
much. It's the little things The little things.
I'm sorry, I'm about to have a coughing fit. Hold on.
Covey.
Uh-uh. It's usually me coughing on a podcast. Uh,
Okay, so I just have to gripe this week, and I know I've been griping a lot lately.
What?
But first of all, um, congratulations to Judge, soon to be Justice, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who was recently confirmed to be the next Supreme Court Justice of these United States and the first ever African American woman to be appointed to the court. That
Darkness,
said,
everybody.
that said, fuck all you old wrinkled ass Republicans that were up there asking her the most racist ass questions I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Fuck all of y'all. Fuck all y'all news people who can't seem to get her fucking first name right, as if it's hard. It is pronounced exactly the way it's spelled. So I don't understand why y'all fuck that up.
In all fairness, I watched Kamala's first speech just to see how she pronounced her own name.
Okay, Kamala can be pronounced in,
A few different
like I
ways.
can, yeah, like I can see people calling her Kamala, even though that's not her name. Like if you said Kamala, I can't, I'm like, okay, it looks like Kamala, you know. Ketanji looks like Ketanji. It doesn't look like Kantinji, Kantari, or any of the shit that I've heard her called. It doesn't look like any of that. So either two things are happening. Either y'all are mispronouncing her name on fucking purpose, or you can't fucking read. It can't be anything else. Also, all them shriveled up white ass old men in the Senate that got mad after she was confirmed and walked their asses out of that chamber. That shit was funny to me to see y'all old asses pitch a hissy fit. And you know what? That didn't stop anything. Okay?
and to all you
Like,
crotchety motherfuckers, get the gas
all,
face.
exactly. 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 And everybody who was celebrating her confirmation didn't miss y'all at all. And in fact, good fucking riddance to bad fucking trash. Okay. The other thing that has been pissing me off this week, and I'm going to try to be delicate about this. White people, I need y'all to understand something. I do not owe you my time and attention. I do not owe you discussion, conversation, depth, any of the bullshit you're looking to me for because you call yourself and air quotes are being used here, ally. Okay? Just because you call yourself an ally, and you may be one, does not mean that I owe you my time. Okay? And the reason I say white people, because by and large, it's y'all that think that if you want to have a conversation, then I owe you a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, black people get the hint real quick that I ain't trying to talk to you. But don't walk up to me, even if especially if we know each other in passing. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't had a conversation about shit else. And now you want to come up to me and ask me my opinion on what punishment Will Smith should get.
Mm.
Okay, two things. When I tell you I don't care, I mean, I don't give a fuck, okay? Like, it doesn't affect my life one iota. Why y'all are so invested in it? Baffling. Baffling. Like, I don't understand why people care so much about that. I really don't.
It's just something to talk about.
I guess. But the fact that you feel like I should have to discuss that with you, or what I should have to explain to you the feelings of a lot of black people who think that, because you heard a lot of black people saying that, it was just a thing, he shouldn't be punished or whatever. Okay, but don't come to me asking me to explain these things to you, because I don't get paid to do that. Sorry.
Are you the representative? Like,
Well, and then there's that. You know what I mean? like first of all, I don't speak for the black delegation. Okay, that's the first thing. And secondly, even if I did, I don't have to talk to you just because you want to know. Okay?
soldier boy.
Like, yeah, like I don't know why y'all can't get that through your heads that we don't owe y'all conversation. I had a white woman this week who I was going to say we're friends, but we're not really friends. We're acquaintances. Like, I know her in passing, in fucking passing. And then when I wouldn't discuss the whole Will Smith thing with her, she launches into this diatribe about how she doesn't understand how a lot of black people don't think he should be punished. And she wants me to point her in the direction of, anything that she can read to help her understand. First of all, that ain't my motherfucking job. There are
Wait,
librarians
what?
in this
Where do you
world.
find these
Okay,
people?
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. People just.
I
I
live
will
around the white and them, so I'm quite often asked to
be
be
the
the going
representative.
opinion on what black people think and do. Like, we can't all be individuals. It must be so
Exactly.
nice to be of another race where you don't have to represent your race in every fucking action you do.
Okay, and along those same lines, let me say this to black people, just so y'all don't think that I'm just getting on white people. Let me say this to black people. Y'all need to stop insinuating that somebody is less black because they don't think the same way that you do. Because the first time white people try to put on us that we all think and feel the same, you
We
want to
got a
get
problem with
mad
it now.
about that. So quit telling other black people that they're less black because they don't this or they don't that. Although, if you say it because they put sugar on their grits, I'll allow it.
You know what?
But
Go sit down.
but other than
Shout out
that,
to Darius Rucker.
but other than that, let people be individuals. Cause damn,
I had a thing where I was back home for ninth grade, Plainfield, New Jersey, yay. And I was in Mounds View, Minnesota for 10th grade. And there was this girl in my math class I used to always tease for being the whitest black chick on earth. And one day She's just like, stop it. Look, I'm sorry. My parents were not born and raised in the ghetto and put me in a better situation where I could enjoy life. All of us are products of our environment. I am no less black than you are. And from that day, I stopped teasing people for that.
Good for her and good for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to you and your probably white husband now, Charlotte. Good lesson.
Well, as previously discussed, she's probably in marital bliss.
Could be.
But yeah,
How
I
quickly
mean,
the growth is reduced to. No, just sorry.
right. But I mean, honestly, I mean, I get that a lot because sometimes the way I talk, I don't use adjectives where adverbs should go. Um, I usually like to speak in terms of subject verb agreement. And apparently, some people believe that makes me less black. So, but
Shame on your
also,
parents for putting you in position to live the American dream.
I don't give a fuck about what you think. So there's that, you know. and and also, I think it's funny because once they realize, because people will try to tease you or whatever, and once they realize that don't move me in any way whatsoever, they stop trying to tease me about it because you know, like you're trying to make me feel bad about something that I don't feel bad about. So,
Yeah.
you know, you, you're hitting your head up against the wall. I'm just, living my life. So there's that.
Like it's going in. Okay, folks, I have to wrap this up because I hear a hollering baby outside.
Yeah, and yeah, we can wrap it up. I just wanted to express my disdain for those things. So
Understood.
outro magic.
If you like the show, tell a friend, tell a foe, tell a hoe, and if you don't, tell everybody you know. It is the
Everybody.
Threesome Podcast on Facebook and Instagram, the Threesome Pod on Twitter. Bye.
Yeah,
Yours.
Magic's going to hug kids.
Nah, they
Star
with
is
their mama.
going. Oh well,
You go to eat
Magic is
cereal.
going to play with himself.
I'm going to
Star
call
is
my woman that I've been ignoring to do this show and fall asleep on her while she's on the phone.
oh well, do that. And Star is going to stop a baby from crying. And I'm going to walk the dog.
Fucking dog. Adios, people.